Umuola was a quiet village. Life was simple. People woke up with the sun and went to bed early. The nights were always peaceful with only the sounds of cricket and the occasional hoot of an owl. But that peace ended on one strange night. It happened on a Tuesday. At exactly 2 a.m., a loud noise broke the silence. It sounded like someone pounding in a mortar. The noise was steady and heavy, almost too loud to be real. Mama Ifeanyi, a woman known for her sharp tongue, sat up in the bed. Who is pounding at this time of the night? She grumbled. She got up and peered through her window, but everything was still. The moon hung low in the sky, and the village was silent except for the strange pounding sound. The next morning, everyone in the village talked about it. Did you hear it? Asked one woman at the market. I couldn't sleep, replied another. It was so loud. But where did it come from? A man asked. Nobody knew. The sound seemed to come from everywhere, yet no one could find the source. That night it happened again. Exactly at 2 a.m. But this time something strange happened. Almost every child in the village woke up crying. They didn't cry softly. Their cries were loud and scared, like they were seeing something terrifying. Parents tried to calm their children, but nothing worked. The children looked around the room with wide, frightened eyes as if they could see something the adults couldn't. By the third night, the whole village was on edge. People began locking their doors and windows. Some prayed, others lit candles or sprinkled holy water around their homes. But the pounding didn't stop, and the children kept crying. The story started soon after. Mama Ngozi swore she saw a shadow moving outside her house. But when she checked, no one was there. Papa Ekene, a brave man, said he followed the sound into the forest, but it kept moving away, as if it was running from him. When he returned, his face was pale and his hands were shaking. That sound is not of this world, he whispered. The villagers were scared, so they turned to the elders for answer. The elders sat under the big Iroko tree and spoke in low voices. Finally, the oldest elder, Papa Bina, cleared his throat and told them a story. A long time ago, he began. There was a woman named Neoma. She was a healer. People came to her when they were sick, and she helped them with herbs and prayers. But one day, 2 children died from drinking her medicine. The villagers were angry. They said she was a witch. They burned her house, destroyed her mortar and a pestle, and chased her into the forest. Before she left, she cursed us. She said, one day your peace will be pounded into dust. The villagers went silent. Could this curse be the reason for the strange noise? The pounding grew louder each night. By the 7th night, it was so loud that it felt like the ground was shaking. People were too afraid to sleep. They stayed awake, huddled together in their homes, listening to the restless pounding. A group of young men decided to investigate. They armed themselves with machetes, lanterns, and charm from the village dibia, the herbalist. At exactly 2 a.m., they followed the sound into the forest. The pounding grew louder as they walked deeper into the trees. Suddenly, it stopped. The men froze. They were in a small clearing. In the middle of the clearing was an old mortar, cracked and blackened, as if it had been burnt long ago. Around the mortar were bones, white feathers, and melted candle wax. The men felt a cold breeze even though the night was warm. Then they heard a whisper. It was faint but clear.
Leave, or you will not return.
Terrified, the men ran back to the village. They refused to speak of what they saw. But one of them, Chike, fell ill that night. He tossed and turned in his sleep, muttering strange words. "She's coming," he said over and over. "She's coming for us all." The next night, the pounding began earlier. At midnight, it was louder than ever. Pots fell from the shelves and the ground seemed to vibrate. The children screamed and even the adults began to panic. Then something terrifying happened. A strange red glow appeared in the village square. The villagers ran outside and saw a figure standing in the middle of the square. It was tall and covered in black tattered clothes. Its face was hidden, but its eyes glowed like fire. The figure raised its hand and the pounding stopped. The village fell silent. Then it spoke, its voice deep and echoing.
You chased her into the forest. You burned her home. You called her a witch. Now the spirit demands justice. Until the wrongs are made right, your peace will forever remain broken. The figure vanished into thin air, leaving the villagers shaking with fear. The pounding never returned after that night. The elders confessed the truth about what happened to Neoma. The villagers held a ceremony to beg for forgiveness. But things were never the same. Some villagers said they could still hear faint pounding on quiet nights. Others believed the figure would return if the villagers ever forgot the wrongs of the past. And so the story of the Midnight Mortar became a warning, a reminder that some mistakes can never be erased and some spirits never truly rest.